All right, what's going on, guys? How's everyone doing today? Things got a whole lot interesting this morning. We woke up with a lot more fights. We knew that was going to happen. Sometimes the books take a little while. It is 10 a.m. Thursday, March 19th, here in Sydney, Australia. Wherever you are in the world, I say welcome. We're going to get into this. So, what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be going over if you're a JSB insider, if you're a VIP on YouTube, if you're a JSB Patreon, if you're in the Discord. I posted 6 tickets now. Yesterday when I spoke to you, I posted 3. I've doubled it, so I've posted 6. I'm probably going to post at least 4 more. It's a big week. We have a lot to talk about. This is my first live stream of the day. I'll be going live once again in 3 hours. The live stream in 3 hours is my weekly UFC MMA live stream. I'll be doing that with Nick from Breaking Bad Boxing. That's already up on the channel. It's booked in. It's scheduled in. You'll get a notification. So if you guys like my content, if you're part of our community, make sure you hit notifications on the YouTube channel so you never miss one of these live streams. And if you do miss the live stream, I post it on our fight prediction Johnny Says Boxing playlist. Moving forward, all I ask from you is to like the video. We give away, I do live streams every single day. I feel that's the least I could do. We win every single week as a team, so you guys can pay it forward by liking the video whenever you're tuning in. If you're not part of our community, click that link that's pinned right there. Week after week, the receipts, the results, the wins speak for themselves. If you're new to the channel, just go to my post section on YouTube and see the receipts week in and week out. I not only tell you who to pick, I show you my betting ticket before the fight start. I don't know. I think that's really important so you guys know that I'm in it with you. There's one thing with me telling you who to take. There's another thing with me having action on every single one of these fights. So, and also if you're on Instagram, if you want to link up there, Johnny Stofko on Instagram. I use my Instagram as sort of a receipt wall as well. I do small videos, break down little talking points from this show, and I use my Instagram story as a daily up-to-date tracker on all things boxing. Follow me there. Say, hey, what's up, Jay? It's so-and-so from YouTube, and I'll follow you back. All right, so I'm going to start taking your questions. We're already in it. What's up, Al? Al says, listen to Al. Listen to the big fella. Listen to the JSB Insider. Like the video. Sheesh. What are we sheeshing, Emma? Emma, what are we sheeshing? You got to tell me what we're sheeshing. Yummy. AB, we saw it. We saw it coming. We saw that getting Barbosa at plus money on the money line and then getting him on points it's kind of what we do. Guys, I gave you, there's 2 dogs up that I've given you. I think a secret to the game is getting on the books early and seeing what the books have odds at early, right? So one of those dogs I gave you guys on Monday, if your books didn't offer you this fight, then I don't know what to tell you. It's no one's fault. Sometimes these things happen. But on Monday, Corey Marksman was a plus 140 underdog. I jumped all over Marksman. Watching his career, the money he's won us in the last year. And now he's at $1.60 favorite. So he went from a plus 140 on Monday. $100 would have gotten you your money back plus 140 just on the money line to now, if you take them, $100 on most books only gets you $65 back. So I use that as a sort of example. Now, Corey still needs to win. Marksman still, he's in tough. It's a tough fight. I just felt like the odds should have been flip-flopped. He still needs to win. But if Corey gets the job done like I think he's going to get the job done, it's just a perfect example on, sometimes the books just don't get it right, and we could all benefit from that. And he brought up Arnold Barbosa, and that was week in and week out we find these things. You guys will also be surprised of another dog I posted today. I won't say it out loud. I'll wait till somebody brings the fight up, and then we'll talk about it. Corey by knockout. Man, Corey could crack. He's talking about Corey Marksman. When you watch his tape, man, both guys are young. Both guys are hungry. Corey's just a smooth operator, good boxer, puncher, good counter boxing, clean, slick. Like he does a lot of things really well. I like he sparring a lot with Shakur Stevenson, leaning on Andre Ward to get, taking advice. Whenever you're leaning in on guys like that, it can only benefit you, especially as a 24, 25-year-old fighter who's growing into their career. It's 7 a.m. in the Philippines. Welcome, Christian. Christian, I messaged you back in our Discord. So I'm pretty sure you messaged me on Discord. I messaged you back. Check your messages. King says, can't wait for the Adames fight. Me neither, man. I think you guys might not agree. Look, the longer you're on the channel, the more you'll know. We are fans of boxing. Excuse me. Allergy season here in Sydney. Fine fanboys here. That being said, I do feel that Carlos Adames is truly one of the most underrated champions, I think, in boxing. I do. People just kind of I don't know. People I talk to, he's not a household name. He's been doing it for a long time, and he's still not that old. I think he's in the prime of his career. I think this is a great opportunity to showcase what he does really well. He's a good counter boxer. He uses the ring really well. He can be aggressive if he wants. He's technical defensively. He does a lot of things really, really well. And most importantly, he wins. And so I'm excited for this fight too. I have Adames on points. So I'm taking Adames on points. My reasoning for that is Ammo Williams. I expect Ammo. The facts are this. Conjecture aside, the facts are this. Ammo has been the more active fighter, whether to his detriment or not. We know he cuts a lot of weight, but he has been more active. He took this when the first fight was called off. He fought Wendy Toussaint. Adames hasn't fought in a while. Adames' style traditionally is he is a guy that will take a little bit of time to feel you out. So I'm envisioning an atypical Ammo Williams start, fast start, pressure. He might go up 2-0. He might go up 2-1. Adames will slowly figure it out. And I think that I am leaning on Ammo being tough enough to last the entire fight. It's a 12-rounder. I'm thinking Adames wins it maybe 8-4. What's up, Showtime? Yeah, the odds on Omari are so wild, I couldn't bet it. What do you think about Jalil Hackett signing with Zoof? I think it's a good sign for Jalil, man. We want to see him fight. Look, guys like Jalil Hackett just need, it's never a bad thing for him to sign. And, he's going to be active. They're going to promote him. They're going to feature him. The thing I do like about Zuffa so far in their short sort of, lifespan is no matter if it's the first fight on the undercard or the co-main, and this is something that gets overlooked a lot by most fans, is that Zuffa does little small mini documentaries on each fighter, on each fight. That's really important for our sport. It's really important for the fans of our sport to get to know who these guys are. So from a marketing perspective, from a just being protected by an organization, I think it's great for Jalil. The second question, though, kind of not. And what do you think about these guys that fight nowhere near their walk-around weight? I don't look up. Growing up, fighting, being a lifelong athlete, playing multiple sports. In any sport, you have legal ways to find advantages. I don't mind that at all. There's weight class as long as you make weight on fight night, man. So that's on you. I've known guys, been friends with guys who fight close to their walk around weight, and I have friends with guys who cut 20 to 30 pounds in fight week to make weight, both in boxing and MMA. And if it deteriorates your performance, then that's on you as well. We've seen time and time again guys getting chinny later on in their career because they cut too much weight and they're dehydrated, and come fight night, shots that they used to be able to take at 24 when they're 30 years old, they can't take, and the lights just go out. So there's a give and take. There's definitely a give and take. It's not a cut and dry issue, but from an athletic performance perspective, from a sport perspective, if you make weight on fight night, then do what you want to do, mate. I don't believe in weight bullies. I think that's an excuse. Hello, Johnny. Which of the tickets you posted would you say? I don't feel comfortable with any of my tickets. Come on, LeBron. You guys ask me this every week. My response is never going to change. You ask me this every week. I'm not bullshitting you guys. I'm authentic as possible. What you see is what you get. If you ever became friends with me in real life and you moved into the house next door and we became neighbors, this is who you would be talking to when we're having our morning coffee in our front yard. So I'm not going to sit and lie to you and say that things are locks. That's why I never say this is a lock. This is our multi-lock. There's no locks. We are gambling. This shit is a gamble, dude. We're betting. We're taking our hard-earned money and gambling it. Anything could freaking happen. I'm not comfortable. I'm never comfortable with any of my picks. I tell you that week in and week out. We win. I, I I'm only comfortable on the effort that I put in. So, am I comfortable with the effort that I put in, with the research that I put in, with my knowledge of the sport, with my knowledge of the fighters, with my knowledge of the matchups and the matchmaking and the stylistic sort of components of how each fight will go down? Yeah, I'm comfortable in that. But am I uncomfortable in the picks? No, I never am. What do you think about? I love Gio Vasoli. I got Gio on points, by the way. I threw up a one of my tickets has Gio on points. I like Lidard. I think Lidard is the truth. Lidard proved a lot to me against Kieran Conway. You know what I'm saying? He made me a believer. Watch the Conway breakdown. I was like, Lidard's gonna have to prove it to me. And I was like, and if he, and I picked Conway to win, and Lidard freaking proved it to me. Carlos Adamas, you know where I stand on that. Lester, I love this ticket. I don't know how much that's paying, but I love the ticket. What? Lester's $1.07. Adamas is $1.31. Lidard's like $1.10. Fasoli's like $1.10. What is that getting you back? Like 80% return? I don't mind it at all. I like it. We're gonna pull the odds up in a second. I'm gonna get the chatting with the boys. 12 minutes in, 35 to 55 in the live, just like it. They've added more fights. Yeah, bro. We woke up this morning. I went to bed last night with like 5 fights. Woke up this morning, boy. Check, said my little grateful, thankful for me waking up. It's something I do. Whatever you worship, whatever you pray to, whoever you believe in, whatever your own spirituality is. The one thing that I always suggest, I'm not putting this on anybody, but that I do is the first thing I wake up and take a breath, I'm like grateful. Like I start there. My day, my moment of gratitude for life, for breathing, starts right when I wake up. And then we all have our own systems. Before I leave, my second book I wrote that book right there, the 24-hour reset, is all about this sort of thing. But as of late, as soon as my alarm goes off, shut the alarm off. I never use, there's a chapter in that book called Fuck the Snooze Button. So if you're trying to be successful, you're trying to grow in your life, you're trying to level up, don't use the snooze button. And I interviewed scientists about this, and you can read the book if you want. But then as soon as I shut the snooze off, I say I'm thank you for waking up, grateful, right? And then as of now, I'll look if it's Wednesday, if it's Thursday morning, I'll go straight to my app. You shouldn't be looking at the screen right when you wake up. Bitch, I can do what I want. I'm a grown ass man. So I wake up on Thursday morning, I looked at my sports betting account, I'm like, oh shit, we went from 7 to 25 fights. And then the day gets started. Also, a little to put an exclamation point on that tip, always make your bed. The next thing I do is when I leave my bedroom, I make that bed. And I have a chapter about that as well, because no matter how shitty your day is, no matter how great your day is, when you come back to go to sleep into your bedroom at night and you're looking at the bed that is made, it's in sorts. It's it's taken care of. You don't want to have a shitty day, shit was chaotic, you come back in your bed, it's all chaos. So that is a subconscious little trick to do to help with your perspective. PJ, you didn't miss anything, brother. You missed about 14 minutes of me talking shit. 40 guys, like this video. Gio training out in Vegas is big time for a UK fighter. Mike, it's kind of like why we jumped on Catterall when Catterall left for the UK to go train in Philly. Also, Aaron McKenna training at B&B Boxing in Omaha with Bud Crawford and Bomac. So this is Mike Ross brings up a good point with his comment, probably unintentional, but a great, valuable point moving forward. When you're betting and you're looking at matchups and you see guys traveling, getting out of their comfort zone, being vulnerable, going international to get rounds in to do a camp, it says something about their mindset. So I agree. Plus, he already came over, fought James Wilkins, just watched that spot. Yeah, no, I'm a fan of Gio. I think Gio's a real deal. I talked about it yesterday. Gio ticks a lot of boxes for me mentally. and he's only going to get better physically. Already a great athlete, but that mental capacity of being able to persevere adversity outside of the ring goes a long way with a young, promising, hyped up fighter as they're maneuvering their career and they're growing. So I've seen that too. I like what I saw with face to face with Carmel, and I would take Vasoli over Carmel, by the way. And I'm a Moten guy. I picked Moten over Cuba early days. They had Moten really active, and now he hasn't been so active. And the matchmaking, I want to see them step up, you know, step him up again. But I'm high on Carmel Moten. But I think Gio is that dude. You win a lot, though. I do win a lot. That's probably why I win a lot, because I don't go into this with an ego, LeBron. And it's something that I don't want to force feed you guys my ideas, but a perspective on success is all through preparation. Success should never be expected. You should never expect to be successful. You should never feel like you deserve to be successful. Nobody owes us shit. We don't deserve anything. If your preparation is locked in with whatever you do, then the outcomes will align one day. It takes time. But so that's kind of the way I view this is the way I view my whole life. I'm putting effort in so many areas to, as long as I'm up during, never just sitting around doing nothing. With my fitness business, my online coaching business, my boxing business, my writing, I'm always constantly doing something. You guys just know me from this, which is great, but I wear multiple different hats. Sometimes I don't wear a hat. Sometimes you gotta get that fade too, boy. Please give me your thought on Joshua Anton. Damn, we in the lead. I haven't even looked at that fight, man. Is that this weekend? I haven't even looked at that fight. Sorry. What's up, Andresa? A lot of sports coming up, guys. This is the probably best time of the year, man. We got basketball. We got the start of baseball. The WBC Classic just ended. We got the NBA playoffs. It's insane. Jonny, these Matchroom Camp videos are amazing. I agree. Have you seen the difference between Adamas and Ammo? It's day and night. Hope Adamas does it. The thing is, we know the difference in skill set. Ammo's mental. I've always questioned. Ammo just seems fragile. Like this isn't a not like I'm older. I could call Ammo's in his 20s. I'll be 44 in 3 weeks. Okay. When I look at Ammo, the father in me, you just kind of want to give Ammo a hug. You want to embrace and be like, "You're all right, big dog. Things will be good." Like that's the energy which is fine. We're all wounded in some sort of way. I don't know his complete story, but when we're talking about world level world title fights against another man who's trying to take your head off, if they sense that doubt, if they sense the fragility of the mind, they're gonna expose that. And so if Adamas was more active, if he even had a fight last year, I would have taken the knockout. So in a way, obviously I'm taking Ammo to lose, but I'm tipping my hat to Ammo being durable enough and good enough to last. We'll see. Look, it's a bet. It's a bet. Right now I didn't get props on George. Let me double check for you boys. Right now I'm waiting for props to try. Yeah, I took Vasoli on points. I got Lester by knockout. I got Adamas on points. I'm waiting to get props. We might as well just do this. Good question, King. Another ticket I'm going to put together is the long sharp parlay this week. Week 1, we hit our long shot parlay, which was plus 2,200. Last week, we got the long shot parlay last week was plus 4,400. We hit our first one and then got smoked. But what could you expect, right? Half unit on the long shot. I think this week I'm going to put 4 method of victories together and see if we could get like a plus 2,000. But let's check. Let me see the book on George. Tyler's been stopped once. Look, so right now, My instinct says Lillard on points, and here's why. Not that he can't stop Denny, but Denny knows this is an confident. Tyler Denny's going to be a confident guy. Tyler Denny has a lot of pride. When you watch the media, he knows that he's a massive underdog. He feels disrespected. He can move around the ring. He double the pro experience. Double the pro experience. I doubt that Tyler Denny. I don't see Tyler Denny fighting George Litter's ego or obliging him in a firefight. I could see Denny getting touched up early in a few exchanges, feeling George Litter's power, and maybe making a choice to last. So I know all the money's coming in on Littard by knockout. It's not even a plus money. I would lean on the veteran in Denny and his pro level experience. Been in there with the bigger names. Doesn't have a perfect record. Doesn't have power. But I would lean right now on that pro experience to be able to at least last. We do have to remember, guys, these fights are in the UK, and we know about that famous UK flurry stoppage. This could happen in Vasoli's fight too, so I'm stressed on that, considering I have Vasoli on points. But sometimes in the fights in the UK, you'll have a guy circling, right? Or they're on the ropes, and then their opponent is just shoe shining, and the ref will just stop it. And you're like, so that's always a worry. And then you have on the other hand, I mean, what fight we were, and then you have on the other hand the refs in pro box, boy. If he dies, he dies, dude. Obviously, I'm talking about our boy Najee here, our boy Najee versus Manny Gallegos. If Najee versus Manny was in the UK, it would have got stopped on the first headbutt. Right after Najee got dropped, when Manny was on the ropes, they headbutt, and then Najee falls awkwardly. The ref in the UK would have stopped it, and then us taking Lopez on knockout, we would have lost our bet. So this is why I'm not comfortable with any of these picks. There are too many extraneous variables in betting on anything that disallow me from ever being comfortable. You know, the one thing that I'll always tell you though are those variables. Like if my knowledge on the UK, yeah, it could be an early stoppage, right? My knowledge on top ranked cards, A sides usually tend to win. My knowledge on Texas fight cards, Texas refs, Texas fighters usually will side with the Texas fight. These sort of things, you know what I'm saying? So other than that, once you cross your T's and dot your I's, and then you learn all these other little side things that you come to my channel for learning, and then you make your decision where you're going to put your money, whether you agree with me or not, it's still a gamble. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Joe T? You're the man. Everything by John. Do you think Lester could be? I think so. I think, good question, John. I think Lester Martinez, before the Christian and Billy fight, was one of boxing's best kept secrets. The boys on the channel knew who he was because when I really started in 2023, I got a Facebook reminder yesterday that said on this day 2 years ago, would have been March 2024, right? 6 months prior to March 2024 was July 2023 when Terence Crawford fought Errol Spence Jr. And so that at that time, my channel only had, I think, 4,000 subs when I was covering Bud versus EJ. And then by March of 2024, so 2 years ago, this was a reminder, I had like 11.2 thousand. And now 2 years later, I'm at almost 28,000. I say that because even back then, we knew about Lester Martinez, sparring partner, B&B Boxing, Bomac, and we knew about this kid with a 100% knockout to win ratio. But my question was with him, who was he fighting, his step ups, etc. And then going into the Billy fight, I slightly leaned Billy. I thought Billy's pressure, that brutal, just come forward, bullying style, would be too much too soon for Lester in terms of style competition. Lester was the B-side during that fight. And the adjustment that Lester Martinez made in the fifth round, rounds 1 through 4, Lester played Christian's game. Met him with the same sort of energy. In the pocket, brutal, and Billy was just slightly faster rounds 1 through 4, slightly more volume, slightly just, fighting his game. That's how, and Billy is a champion with that style. And then around the 5th, 6th round, Lester would do that in spurts, but then he would exit, and then he would reset at range, and then he would pick and Billy Part at his proper mid-range at puncher's distance instead of smothering his own work. And he started doing this, picking his spots, and then he started winning the middle to late rounds. And if that was a 12-rounder, I think a lot of people some people even think Lester won the fight. So to answer your question, I think there's no doubt Lester Martinez, he has the backing of an entire country, Guatemala, let alone the entire region of that part of the world. People are really rallying around him, and everything I've seen in media interviews, people in his camp, people talk really highly of Lester Martinez. So I have high hopes for him. Dermot Fedor next week. Bro, I just realized guys, life goes fast. Life flies by. You guys heard me say by now, my favorite quote is what? Life is play. It's why life is way too short and goes by way too fast not to find some sort of joy every day. Make sure it's, try to be healthy with it. It is fun to be a little bit crazy, but life goes by fast, man. You know, I remember when I was 6 years old playing on this wooden horse. We had no money. I had a little wooden horse and I made the most of it. I was 6. I'll be 44 end of April. Let's go, Johnny. Listen, you get these 3 miles and let's get it. Good boy. I got a box tonight, so I have a 10 rounds boxing tonight. I'm just shadow boxing 10 3-minute rounds, and then I have a strength session afterwards. Carmel Moden. Yeah, he is a dog. Let's see him more active. Husky JSB Academy checking in. First we learn, then we earn. I love that phrase, mate. Anthony Cuba. Yeah, so Anthony Cuba isn't tough this week. And shout out to his handlers, Robert Garcia. Shout out to Cuba. If you go to my Instagram, we're friends. I follow him. He follows me. I feature Cuba on the channel multiple times. And I think, bro, he's in there with a real one. Jair. Bro, this dude is only, Cuba's what, 24, 25. Jair's only 24. Already been in there. Jair at 21 fought Raymond Morataya, fought Landolfo Delgado. Granted, almost lost every round, but went the distance with these guys. He does really well. The thing is, he's going to be a little bit bigger, way more experienced, very determined in there. And Cuba's a fun fighter, marketable. I'm a fan of him. He's won me money before in the past. He's always in there tough, man. So shout out to his handlers. He has gotten nothing easy. He is the A side here. This card's in California. It's a pro box card. And, Jair is a Mexican fighter. But in typical Mexican fashion, man, this kid's solid. He's real solid. I believe we shouldn't pray for things, but pray the results match our efforts. Beautiful. Yeah. I'm great. I'm not an object guy. So you're never my wants and my goals have nothing to do with things you could buy. Mine are more existing. So if you read about like existentialism, that sort of thing, like Joseph Campbell was an existentialist. Alan Watts, on paper, Buddhist philosophy, but he was an existentialist as well. So the idea that the time, like there's no better time than right now. This and right now is the only thing that's real. The illusionary of time is a trick put upon us, placed upon us by society. Think about how many people in our lives, maybe you're one of them, that you just linger on the past and you hang on to your mistakes and you hang on to your heartbreak and you hang on to your failures and those things happen. But that's not who you are now. Or on the other side of the token, those people in your lives, maybe this is you, who you're so stressed about the unknowing, you're stressed about outcomes, you're stressed about bills, you're stressed about what's going to happen to me, you're stressed about having kids or whatever it may be. But that's not real either, because that's an illusion. Both are illusions. Existentialism is the idea of right now. Life is play in the moment. That's kind of how I roll. That is how I roll. Is the MOV double a full unit? Let me double check, LBJ. Yeah, it is. It is. Lester, enjoy. It is. Dude, this shit's stressful, boys. What's up, Rob? Litter 2-1 on points. That's good odds if it is. Yeah, and value play. Value play. Guys, we're 30 minutes in, 60 to 80 of you in here. Could you like this video? It's 10:30 a.m. In 2.5 hours, I'm doing an MMA UFC only live stream with Nick from Breaking Bad. So for all you savages who bet on the UFC and MMA, Tap into that. Your boy's out here working for you. And then I got to go box. Then I get to go box. What do you think of the undercard Taylor Bevan and Lely Buttigieg? We've had him on the show before. Are you getting odds? Manny, are you in the UK or are you in Canada? I think you might. Aren't you in BC? Buttigieg. I'm just checking my book. This is my. So these are the fights I have right now. There's fights in less than 24 hours. This Abisail Cotto is the main event tomorrow. He's a fun fighter if you've never seen him. Baby G is back too. We covered Baby G on the channel. He's a fun American prospect. He's fighting on this card. So Abisail Perilla versus Velasquez, Glenn Byrne versus Owen O'Neill, Cody Smith versus Gormley, Nina Mikey versus Vargas, Ben Marksby. Now we're in the UK. Niall Brown, Kieran Malloy, Xavier Colin. Kieran Malloy is decent. I taped Kieran Malloy. This is he got a little bit of game. I'm not saying he's gonna be a world champion. And people thinking Mike Conlan's gonna lose to Kevin Walsh. Guys, there's levels for a reason. This is an A-side Mick Conlan. He's been stopped before, but the kid has hand speed. He could crack. He's been former world champion. Kevin Walsh is a kid from Brockton, Mass, 18-0, 33 years old, never really had to step up. It's a big spot for him. I don't agree that all Kevin has to do is touch Mick and he gets knocked out. That's super disrespectful. Louis Ward, Connor Mitchell. Here we go. Manny Buttigieg versus Jake. I got Manny Buttigieg. So I have Manny Buttigieg versus Jake Goodwin. Oh, you're saying two separate fights. Yeah, these guys are in easy. These guys are in easy. They're big favorites for a reason. Ammo seems spaced out and depressed. He always seems that way. It's weird because he fights with a lot of aggression while he's durable. I can see Cunningham saving it from himself in the second half if he's taking a beating. The thing about that is you're not going to see a guy in Carlos Adames to really he has a high fight IQ. You're not going to really see a guy in Adames who's going to put himself at risk. He's not going to fight like Najee Lopez. I wish he fought. Don't you wish everyone fought like Najee Lopez? I think we just watched a coming of age of a star last weekend, boys. Like, not everyone. Dude, what a freaking stud Najee Lopez is, mate. Literally up every round. Up every round. And just choosing to just stay in the fire against a dude who's big and could punch. And basically giving him every opportunity to win. But Najee would not be denied. That cut. Bro, Najee Lopez, mate. Adames doesn't fight like him. So I can see Adames cracking ammo and then exiting and circling out, using the entire ring, making ammo come. Ammo wants to get it back, swings and misses, and then I can see Adames clinching. Fight gets broken up, reset. Adames uses the whole ring, waits to counter. He's up big. Why push it? So this is what I'm hoping for. Meanwhile, we could see a Carlos Adames that's out for blood, jumps on his front foot early, starts headhunting. This is why no fight, no bet is ever comfortable, dude. This is boxing. This is the greatest sport on earth. As long as both guys are in the ring, the fight can end at any second. But, you know what should give us grace is that we all have now, if you listen to me, an example of this happening at even a more stressful level. I mean, no one thought, I gotta bring it up. What have you done for me lately? Everybody thought Jair was gonna stop Brandon. And Brandon was a goddamn punching bag. And this fight is not in the UK. You know what I'm saying? This fight is at Caribe Royale. Orlando. I want to go catch a fight down there one day. So I'm hoping, I think Ammo, he's gonna be in shape, he's gonna be fit, he's gonna be hungry. He's always like, Ammo's gonna be one of these guys. Hopefully I'm wrong. When he's 50 years old, you're gonna ask him if he has any regrets. And it seems like he's the type of young fella that is in such a rush that he's not enjoying the moment. He seems like a guy that you'd ask him at 50, and he'd say, you know what, Johnny, my only regret was not appreciating it more. Because that could be a double-edged sword. You could feel the weight of the stress on him. He carries it with him. And as a fighter, man, what does Bruce Lee say? Be like water. That's philosophically, that's what he means. Water is malleable. If you pour water into a vase, if you pour water into a bowl, if you pour water into a big barrel, it doesn't fight where it's going to go. It situates itself in any environment. It's malleable. You know, when you're fighting, you don't want to force anything. You want to flow. Let the game come to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, be like water. Sometimes I feel ammo is forcing things. High interest. We lost, brother. We lost. That video you sent me, unks, we down. The YNs are up 1. Probably plus 500 too with the cell phone. You guys don't know what I'm talking about. Little inside chat. Corey Marksman is the favorite. The swindler strat. All we need now is Corey to come through for us, and then we look like G's again. Week in and week out. Let's go. I was taping Gomez, and I wasn't impressed. Barry, man, I appreciate all the boys in here. The educated chat that you guys have added, the newer JSB insiders over the last months to our Discord, I appreciate it. I just want to let you know that because I see you guys commenting. Dude, we have a 24/7, 365-day boxing chat in our Discord. It's awesome to see. And I see you're active in there. I was taping Gomez, wasn't impressed. I think he's slow for the weight and doesn't wear entry punch selection. I feel so comfortable. All Corey has to do now, boys, is win. And some sharps are talking about Corey by knockout. Because Corey won us. This is why, like, I know a lot of we've grown a lot. Like, in November, our Discord was only at 210. We're at 440 now, so we've doubled in that amount of time. So I know that there's half of the boys in there who weren't here for all the fights last year. So you know what I'm saying? Like, Marksman has won us money twice last year by knockout. So these are those patterns, you know. So moving forward, you know, keep track of these guys' names. Write stuff down too, guys. Like, it's not. You're not weird if you have a book and you're writing fighters' names down, because what you could then do is you could have an early eye to the odds, because doesn't happen every week, and you don't want to get caught forcing it, like we just talked about. Be like water. You know, some guys could get caught forcing a dog. Like, dude, there's 4 underdogs are gonna win this week, and I'm always like, well, I don't know about that. Maybe 1, we might get 2, but 4. You don't want to be like get dog hungry, but you can, and it's a thing. Understand the patterns and the fighters and their most recent success, and then catch a book early and be like, ooh, they might have it wrong here. And I think I'm very comfortable saying I think this is the case. I do. I like Jimmy Sains won his money last year. Look, until fighters for me, when I play a fighter, I'm going to play you. Usually, I guess I'm going against the grain here because I am breaking my own rule. 9 out of 10 times, a fighter wins me money, I'm going to roll with him. Jimmy Sains has won me money. Anthony Cuba has won me money last year, but I think this is a step up. So I'm actually picking Jair to beat Cuba, but I think Sains beats Asaze. There's something about the Mexican fighters. There's something about the maturation of a Mexican fighter who cuts his teeth in Mexico, who gets brought to the U.S. Now, I'm not saying a guy like, Zepeda didn't become a household name until 35 fights in. He was already in his late 20s, early 30s. Even Rafa, people really didn't know who Rafa was until the first Robesi Ramirez fight, and he was in his late 20s now, maybe early 30s. Jair is only 23 years old, and he already has over 20 fights, and he's already fought Raymond Morataya and Lindolfo Delgado, who's fighting, one's a world champion, one, has had some close fights, but he's undefeated and world champion level, if not an interim. And so these are Jair's losses. Cuba is a guy who is learning fun, aggressive body puncher, RGBA, could crack, always in fun fights. This is his first 10 rounder. So if you're thinking about a dog might be live, let's look at the odds. Yeah, full transparency. On a ticket, I have Jair Valtierra at plus 280. And Cuba, you're my boy. You're my friend. But we bet with our wallets, not with our hearts. And I think these odds are kind of off. We'll see. Cuba's the more popular guy, the more well-known guy. He's won us money before. He's fun to watch. But people don't sleep on Valtierra. Today was a good day for fight fans. They announced the Benavidez Zerto undercard, solid top rank. Yes, we're in a good spot, boys. We're in a good spot. Guys, 40 minutes in. Like the video. Tell me what time it is, wherever you are in the world. We maxed out so far at 70. We're at 58. We should have at least 50 likes. The boys. Show up for me. I want to see Najee versus Khalil. I want to see Lopez stop Ko or push him to. I don't know if Ko wants to box anymore, boys. That version of Khalil Ko versus our boy Jesse Hart. I mean, he won and we won, but did we like? It wasn't the same. Either he needs to move up weight or get a new strength and conditioning coach or see a sports psychologist, because the version of Khalil Ko against Manny Gallegos 1 was not the same version against Manny Gallegos 2. Manny Gallegos 2, he looked amazing. Jab was popping. He just stormed through Manny Gallegos, dude. We know how tough Gallegos is. And then he fights Jesse Hart and he reverts back to the guy from the first fight. It's like he looked worse against Jesse Hart than he did Manny 1. So I want to see Lopez be pushed past Khalil Ko. I don't even know what Khalil Ko wants to do. Does he want to fight? Give Jesse Hart the rematch. I don't want to see. I think Ko would get. I think Najee would do what he wants to do with Ko. I think Najee's ready for the big stage. Hey Johnny, you think Adames versus Ammo has 0 knockdowns? I can see both sides to it. Both dogs and just don't go down our guy. Look, I'm not a knockdown prop guy. Traditionally, I'm not. It's not one of these props that I play to where I don't have a lot of experience winning or losing. I've won a handful, I've lost a handful. I'm probably 50-50 on that knockdown. So it's not part of my, when I give the boys in the Discord and the Patreon, when I give them my tickets, they'll know, they could attest to this. They would be shocked if they saw a ticket with a knockdown prop. They'd be like, oh shit, this is something new. So it's not something that I like playing. Can I see it happening? You gotta understand, Adames is a counter puncher at his best, but he's good all around. He's a world champion. I put him as one of the most underrated world champions in any weight class. I think he's that good. He does a lot of things really well. And sometimes I think he leaves some of it in the ring. Like, he's a little bit of a late start against Hamza. He goes down early, kind of in typical fashion, 3-1, 4-1, and then he just blew him away from round 5 onwards. And he fights in spurts as well. He'll, flurry, counter, exit, use the ring, reset. So maybe on a counter, maybe I can't see Ammo over punching. Ammo gets out of position a lot. He throws a lot of heavy shots, and sometimes he's in positions to get countered. I could see maybe him like a flash knockdown. Is that something I'm going to play? No, I'm not going to play it. Adams already said he's going to show that he's levels above Ammo. I think he's going for the stoppage. What's up, Sean? Adames. Yeah. Adames was laughing at Ammo. Adames generally believes Ammo can't. That could be a bad thing. What's up, Julius? You don't want to be too confident in there, do you? Mike Tyson didn't think Buster could compete with him. We've seen this. I mean, I don't think Caleb Plant thought Armando Resendez could compete with him. We see it all the time. I don't know, I don't think Ammo could compete with him. I don't. Choosing fighters by decision is way better. Picking boxing, Ryan versus Barrios card. I had Garcia on points. Good call. comparing it if you were betting on the UFC knockouts. Yeah, only because they're two different sports. Two different sports. We bet on both. We cover both. I I wouldn't. You can't compare the two in terms of stoppages because boxing doesn't go to the ground. The minute you go to the ground, you have way more options to get a stoppage. What's up, Louis? No, you're not the only one. This is a crazy thing that I'm about to say. I hope Cuba wins. I'm friends with Anthony. I've covered him on the channel for 2 years. I like his camp. I like his style. I like his body punching. I like his aggression. I like how they haven't been giving him anything easy. They've been moving this kid tough. Shout out to Robert Garcia. But, I just think the odds are wrong here. I think Jair Valtierra at 23, he's only, how old is he? I think he's 23 years old. Valtierra. Kaiser. Yeah, so Jair, they call him Kaiser. He's 24 years old. Cut his teeth in Mexico. Mexican fighter. Slightly bigger dude. When you do the tape, you're going to see a kid who where he does struggle though kind of suits Cuba's style. He has struggled with guys who are going to push, try to bully him. But he was young, man. So he's 24 years old, 18-3, 9 knockouts. He's going to be taller than Cuba. He has a longer reach than Cuba. He's a Mexican fighter, so he's not going to fade. His engine for days. He's going to spam that cardio. And look who he's been in there with. Jonathan Navarro is the kid who came down to Australia to fight Liam Paro before Liam Paro fought David Papo. You should know who that is. Ernesto Gutierrez was a kind of a get-back fight. Lindolfo Delgado. He fights Lindolfo Delgado as a 21-year-old. Goes the distance with Lindolfo Delgado. We're talking about an undefeated world champion-esque fighter, Olympian, goes the distance. He has a no contest against Nestor Bravo. And then he loses a decision to Raymond Morataya. At 21 years old, fighting Raymond Morataya, goes the distance with him. When he was young, he got stopped against Alberto Ruiz Ibarra in Mexico. But I got to be honest with you guys. With what we do, we look for value, right? We're looking for value here. You're looking at a kid 18-3 with 9 knockouts, dude, who's been in there with world champions against a kid in Cuba who's 12-1. And we've watched Cuba grow up in front of us. 12-1. He's 23. So one's 24, one's 23. You ask me to measure where their career, where they are in their career, I put Jair a level above based off of experience, who he's fought. Cuba's never fought a 10-rounder. This would be Cuba's first 10-round fight. And by far, it's his biggest step up in opposition. By far. So all that aside, if I were to write my next book, maybe my next book, I already have my 3rd book almost complete. Just kind of almost at the stage of shopping around publishers for my 3rd book. For my 4th book, the recipe for an upset in terms, do a betting book. I'll write a little short hand guide to betting, success in betting. I'll take all the stats over the next few years. This is a recipe for a great upset pick. When you're looking at the age, it's not like Jair Valtierra is a 35-year-old guy who fought all these guys at the tail end of his career. He fought Morataya and Lindolfo Delgado early. What does that tell you? That means that he takes those 24 rounds. I think Delgado was an 8-rounder, or Morataya was an 8-rounder. Delgado was a 10-rounder. He didn't win a lot of rounds, but he didn't get stopped. He takes these 18 rounds with him, and he moves on in his career. And he hasn't lost a fight since those fights. And at plus 280, guys, 24 years old, taller guy, longer guy. I love him. I love him at those odds. And that's what we do here. We're not just picking our favorite fighters. I'm a fan of Cuba. I'm friends with Cuba. I hope Cuba wins. I'm betting on Jair to win this. I can't pass up those odds on the money line with everything I just told you. You think he outboxes him? I don't think Cuba's gonna outbox him. I think if Cuba wins, he's gonna use his pressure, body punching, aggression, bullying, aggressive style. He leaves a lot of openings though when he punches. Cuba likes to punch with you, and he's a little bit leaky with his defense. Any second dog for the weekend? I got two. I show you, boy. You're in the Gamrot. What's up, Gamer Bot? I'm gonna call you Gamrot though, boy. Shout out to Madrish Gumrot. So the first one, or the second one was Cuba. And then this is the first one. Plus 140. So what do you guys think? Do you think we really affect the books? So I put this bet in at plus 140. Corey Marksman. Look at the odds now. Huh. I'm definitely, you guys got me fired up. I missed it. Why am I not seeing it? Tell me they didn't take it off. Here we go. Now look at the odds. So I jumped on it at plus 140. Now Gomez is plus 140. Completely flip-flopped. So I don't, this this was when I first looked at it, I thought the bookies had it wrong. I like Elijah. I know people are going to talk shit about me. I like Elijah Garcia. I like his youth. I like his size. I like his upside. I like his ceiling. I'm a fan. I've covered Elijah on the channel multiple times. It's crazy. This is why you can't do triangle theories, because people really don't. He gets a lot of hate for some reason being so young. Look, the last thing I'm ever going to do is hate on a guy who's developing. Elijah has a win over Armando Resendez. Resendez is the dude who looked great against Caleb, who's fighting Jaime Munguia. He's a world champion. I rate Elijah, man. What happened? I just where's Abel Ramos? Not Abel, Jesus Ramos. Can we get Jesus Ramos a fight? Why are we bullshitting? Hey, no, but Jesus Ramos, boy. I know he said he wants to fight at 160. He could. We know him from 154, but there's a lot of fighters I rate that we just don't see a lot. You think Cody Smith beats Lee Gromley? I think I have Cody. Did I avoid that fight? I do. I do have Cody Smith on a parlay. I think these are like C-level fights, half unit. I have it on my long parlay. Check out my long parlay, Manny. I would like to see Najee the winner, Hutchinson Taylor. I think Najee takes both, but I wouldn't mind that fight either. I like Hutch over Ezra here. Hutch is on a different level. I think he's trending in a different level, and he knows that as well. And I watched an interview with Ezra and Hutch, and it seems to me Ezra knows that as well. So I think Najee blows both guys away. I made huge money off Glenn Apataya. They had Jai not scoring a knockdown, even money. Beautiful. I'm leaning Conlon knockout 100%. I don't understand the hate. I don't. People are crazy in boxing fandom, Jay. People are absolutely insane in boxing fandom. Mick Conlon, 20-3, 10 knockouts, his 3 losses. He's been stumped 3 times. Okay, I get it. Jordan Gill, Luis Alberto Lopez, Lee Wood. All right, these things happen. He looked good in his last 2 fights, man. Dude, Mick Conlon won us money. I went money on McCollum. I think he just walks through Kevin Walsh. Kevin Walsh, 19 out of 10 knockouts from Brockton, 33 years old. This is his chance. Not a lot there. Not a lot there. Yeah, I might play the knockout too. If I play it, it'll be my long shot parlay. It'll probably be part of that. I might take George Liddard. I'll pick an option for George. I'll pick an option for Mick. I'll see if odds open up on 2 or 3 more fights, and we'll put something together like a plus 2,200, plus 3,000 sort of thing. Yeah, he was 21 years old. Did I see how bad he was knocked out? It's boxing, man. We could get knocked out. No, I've seen it. I watched the tape. Pablo Rubio just won us money, baby. Yeah, good. That's a good pickup, Addison. That's a good trend. It's good. I didn't know that he opened his own gym, but I know I picked Pablo Rubio at plus money, and he came through for us in a very great fight. This is going to be a good fight. Look, I'm not trying to guys. I'm not trying to talk you out of your bets, and I'm not trying to argue with anybody. I only do this so you could ask me who I like. I'm not a fucking god. Like nobody's 100% right, dude. So stick to your guns, Lewis. You do your work. I've seen you on my chat before. Trigiano, you know what you're talking about. Stick to your guns, man. Cuba is he's I think this is closer to a 50-50 fight though rather than a 2-1 Cuba being a favorite. I think resumes matter, especially coming up through. Sometimes as a young fighter, coming up without a promoter, you're going to be put in there against guys that you're supposed to get beat by. Sometimes you get stopped. Just because you get stopped early doesn't mean your career's over. We've seen it time and time again. Have losses, and I'm not saying that Jair is going to be a world champion. I'm not saying Cuba's going to ever be a world champion. I'm just saying going into fight night, I don't think that Jair should be a plus 180 dog all things considered with their resumes, how they fight, where they fight, and sort of like how the experience level at this stage of the game. Neither guy's a finished product. One's 24, one's 23. Shout out to the matchmaking. I think it's going to be a fun firefight. I like Jimmy Saints here. Jimmy Saints is a kid I'm thinking about throwing. So I brought up, what's up, Luke? I brought up earlier. I'm looking. We're gonna put together our long odds, long shot parlay, and Jimmy was. We might as well just do it. You guys are guiding me in the right way, so let's do this. Last time I looked, I didn't get odds on it, but I did have my eyes on a Jimmy Saints stoppage. Okay, let's just for fun. Let's see what we can build real quick. If I make this official, you guys will be the first to know. So if this will be, we're gonna try to build heavy odds with some method of victories. I'll go if I'm, these are the parlays I go half unit. This would be third week in a row that I've done a long shot. Week 1 we hit plus 2,200. The boys were stoked. Week 2 was last week plus 4,400. It went down burning. We got ransacked in a burning ship. And then this is week 3. So I have been looking at Saints by knockout. I was waiting to see if I could get odds on Abisail Cotto. No odds yet on the prop. I was thinking Conlon by knockout. We're at plus 445 right now. So Sains by knockout, Conlon by knockout. George Liddard on points. So those 3 pay plus 1,300. Let's see if we add one more. Chop Chop in the house. Can we get a Chop Chop knockout? Nope. They never give a Chop Chop's a fun prospect. If you guys don't know who that is. Baby G is fighting too, guys. I talk about him all the time. Check out Baby G. He's a fun prospect coming out of the US. He's on an undercard this weekend. I think he's fighting on the zone. Terramona by knockouts? Nada. We'll find one more. Adamas on points we like. Mark, and let's just roll with it. Marksman by knockout. That's plus 4,600. This is a freaking okay corral parlay, dude. I'm not saying I'm making this live, but 100 on this gets you 5,500. So that sort of thing. Look, those aren't it's not official, but those are 4 fights that I feel that if you play your cards right, whether points or knockout, the skill level on these 4 fights are at a decent, they're a little bit more than a domestic level fight. That Jimmy should win. Jimmy will win. Conlon will win. George will win. Marksman will win. You just find out. Do you think they win on points or by stoppage, and just kind of mix and match. That's just an intuitive pick just now of Luke, and coming up with it plus 4,600. We'll see. If I make that live, I'll put it in the Discord. Guys, become a Johnny Says Boxing VIP Insider. Sign up on YouTube. Sign up on Patreon. The link is pinned. Enter our professional betting boxing academy. It's not just boxing. It's all pro sports. It's a growing Discord community. We're approaching 450 JSP Insiders. It's a couple bucks a month. You get all my picks. You get all my tips. You become part of our community. It's all pro sports as well. Click the link that's pinned. I got to roll out. Guys, I am doing a MMA only live stream in 3 hours or in 2 hours with Nick from Breaking Bad Boxing. We're going to be breaking down the entire UFC card coming up this weekend. We're going to be putting together some parlays for you boys. Every second live stream, if you're new to the channel, on Thursdays, my Thursday, every second one is an MMA only UFC live stream. So if you're into that sort of thing, tap in. I appreciate everybody. Let's get this.